Hello and welcome to the FUHSO Insiders podcast, your go-to source for all things FUHSO. I am Mantra and I'm excited to be your host for today's episode. Today I have with me here
Samuel, Risku, Omedugu.
Samuel, Risku. Welcome, Samuel. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. I'm doing really good.
So we have a couple of things to talk about, like what happened last week and what we're expecting this week. I guess we have a lot of things happened this week.
We had like 2 matches, like basketball, football. The 100 level B students came in like in full numbers. They had orientation.
The numbers. You mentioned the numbers.
They've doubled the school, man. Like everything is just so. There's no way you can say school now and you don't see people everywhere. It's crazy now.
Yeah, they should be like the most populous in the school, like the sets. That's a set.
I think who was it that told us that there are at least 200?
At least.
So I know somebody mentioned it to us. So like even if they are like 180, that's still higher than both our sets. And they said I think our sets were 90. Set before us at like 120 or so. So anything about 210 is doubling the school.
Yeah. And they had their orientation on 12th and 13th. Yeah, and it was an experience, I guess, for them.
It's so crazy how organized FUHSO is for them. Like as soon as they came in, they met their orientation and things were so planned out for them. It almost makes me feel jealous because you know what they did to us in 100 level A sets. I think we spent like a month in school before they gave us any orientation, and it was just. But at least it looks like things are getting in order for the school. They also they took them on transport on time. They took them to Double K campus, right? For the orientation.
Yeah, they did. During the orientation, I heard that they took them to the anatomy lab and cadaver wahala. They saw firsthand cadavers, and I heard that some of them ran out of the anatomy lab or screaming and stuff like that.
That's crazy. Wait, they've already seen cadavers?
Yeah, they've already seen cadavers. I was expecting.
I mean, it must be crazy. In your second week of school, you've already seen dead bodies, cadaver.
And about the basketball match that was held on Saturday. It was played on Saturday, the basketball game, yeah. Samuel, you were there firsthand. What did you think about it?
The game was a good game. I mean, it was supposed to start by 4, and I think by the time I got there, everything was just perfect. Like the sun was shining, the sky was clear, and then people had started coming out. The teams came out a bit late, but it was still good. It was an in-school match between 2 sub-teams of the FUHSO Giants. FUHSO Giants is a basketball team, so the Warriors versus the Lakers, and I don't know. What I saw from them was just very encouraging. I know they were supposed to have a match planned that Saturday.
Yeah. With
the externals, but then they shifted that match to Wednesday. So they planned this match between themselves to see how well prepared they were, to train some other things, and also to just test some skills. And from what I heard from both of the captains, they were both very excited to like play the match and see their levels and test the game against each other. And the match itself, it was like box office worthy because it started very one-sided and then ended one-sided, but in a completely opposite way.
Yeah, it's exactly because from the scoreboard you'd see that at the first half of the game the scores were like 16-8 in favor of the Lakers.
Exactly, the Lakers started very hot. I think even in the first minute they came out to an 8-2 lead, and it was just like, when are the Warriors going to score any points at all?
Yeah, so it was, and the second half was just very impressive, I guess, because like how would you go from 8 to 46, because the game ended 29-46 with Warriors winning.
Yeah, so what happened is that as we saw like what we saw in the first half was basically the Lakers, they were passing the ball around a lot. They were doing a lot of like team basketball, running plays for their members. You see there were a few alley-oops in the first half. You see from the point guard to I think Owi made a few dunks, and then it was mostly team playing and those kind of ball. While the Warriors were struggling to get the offense together, there were a lot of fouls happening. The referee was giving a lot of fouls, so it was a very ticky-tacky game. The match wasn't really flowing for them. But then in the second half, I think there was an injury to the center of the Lakers. I know he was not in a prior injury, so he had to leave the pitch. That's Abdul. And then it wasn't just that, but also the star player, one of the star players for the Warriors, Michael, he had more free space because of that. Because Abdul was one playing defense on him for most of the game, so he had more free space to keep driving, to keep scoring. And then the shooters on the Warriors, my God, they started shooting really well. That's Akko and Ochem, and then so a few other guys on the team too. So the offensive firepower was just too much for the Lakers to handle at that point, and they were able to stage the comeback, and the comeback was great.
Yeah, it was crazy. The comeback was very crazy. Speaking about Michael, this is his first match with FUHSO Giants. Yeah, this is his first game as a team member of FUHSO Giants, and his performance was very impressive because he scored the highest points.
He took a lot of free throws in the first and second quarters, and he was one majorly making plays happen. Then from the second quarter onwards, when he had more space to roam, when he had more space to drive, he was really the engine of the offense at that point. And his other teammates were benefiting from that space around him too.
Yeah. We also interviewed a lot of other players from the team, from both teams, which is just one team, FUHSO Giants, and they had a lot to say. Footages of the interviews will be available on our social media platforms.
It was quite difficult to pick an MVP, man of the match at the end of the game, because there were a lot of impressive performances, even from the Lakers too. But specifically on that Warriors team, as a winning team, they had 3 players in double-figure points, and that was Mike with 15 points, Akko with 14 points, and Oche, who also had double-figure points, I'm sure. But I think at the end of the day, what we gave man of the match based on was performance on both ends, because that's what basketball is about, offense and defense. And Akko had 4 steals at the end of the day, which was what pushed him over the line and made us decide that he was actually the main MVP of the game.
So still on sports, there was a football match yesterday, Sunday, and the 100 level set A played against the 200 level students. It was another intense match. I was expecting something different this time around because for all the games they've played, 100 level set A have never won any match against the 200 level. So we were expecting something different this time around, but
were we really expecting something different?
Yeah, we
had hope. We had hope.
Yeah, okay, we were hoping. Yeah, but it was not as we hoped. Yeah, though it was a very interesting game. There was good playing on both ends.
It was tightly fought, from what we could tell. Tightly fought match. It ended 1-0 at the end, which always tells you it was a close battle between the two teams.
Yeah, and then the first goal of the match, which was the only goal of the match, was scored 18 minutes into the game by Emi Bong.
The goal was a set piece goal. It was from a free kick, and then there was a nicely placed pass, and then from there straight into the net. So from that point on, you could tell that the 100 level set A were just really trying to fight their way back into the match, but the shots were not coming, the chances were not coming, and just trying to create opportunities was very difficult at that point, because once the 200 level guys get settled in, shaking them out is near impossible. So we look forward to the next time these two teams play, and congratulations to the 200 level guys once again.
For the 4th time in a row.
Whoa.
Yeah. Okay. We spoke with the 100 level team captain, 100 level set A, Sneaky, and yeah, he said he feels like they played better than the previous matches. Yeah, and he said one of the reasons that he feels like they have not won any match yet is because they don't train as much.
Sneaky suggested that most of a big part of the issue for 100 level set A is that the key players are in different hostels. So the team is split up between Town Hostel and the Doctor's Hostel first of all. But that more than that, because 200 level also have guys in the Town Hostel, but being able to train together is not something that has happened often for them. So he suggested that the biggest disadvantage for 100 level sets A is that training has not been coming along. So players do not have the endurance to go the full 90 minutes quite yet. So right now we're still struggling for fitness, struggling for fatigue in the middle of the game, which is why you see many substitutions happening for the 100 level set A. We noticed that a lot of them were being substituted out. Maybe only 2 or 3 players were able to play the full 90. But the 200 level, they come out for aerobics, they are more fit, and they made that count in the end, even though it was just 1-0. You see the fitness on them.
Yeah, and training is actually very important. It's just like prepping before you do anything. Preparations are a very, very, very important aspect of anything you do. Just like in our education, we have to prepare a lot, you understand, for exams, for tests, and even when you are not having a match, even when you are not having an exam, you still have to keep yourself in good shape and all of that. So training is a very good thing. Speaking on training and education, the 100 level set B are supposed to start their lectures today. Hopefully they do that, because with the amount of lecture halls available, yeah, but hopefully by the time you listen to this podcast, everything is sorted out. The timetable is not out yet for them, so let's see how it goes. And as always, please remember that your hygiene is very, very important. So keep your environment clean, practice good habits, and because it's very good for your well-being and for the well-being of others around you. If you are yet to listen to our previous podcasts, you can still check them out, and you can check out other content on our social media at FUHSO Insiders on all social media platforms. And that's it for this week's Monday Scoop. Join us next week for more updates and insights from FUHSO Insiders. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, stay curious, stay creative, and stay engaged. Thank you.
Yeah.